This is recording.
Playing from Christina's A14.
This is recording 720-720. Again, you can find me at Christina Statia. That's STATIA 918.com. Okay, so I have a couple of recordings to make. Okay, so this first one is going to be AIW. Okay, so as you guys know, that means going back in time. This is all involving crimes that Jean Jernigan Roberts committed with her Manson occult in history. So it's more evidence, and also more evidence of her stalking me all my life, my family all my life, and also hip hop. Okay, so I learned something new today. In Latin, Charles means CAROLO. Okay, so again, as I told you, Jean Roberts committed terrorism, pre-planned to commit terrorism, and committed assaults against me as a child when I was young. You know all the recordings. You have all the recordings. I don't have to go over it all again. So this is more evidence of her pre-planning to commit assaults and her pre-planning to commit terrorism, and then spinning her assaults around and hiding what she did, which is committing the assaults. And then as a part of her future terror plot, which is what we're now in. First, she planned to do the World Trade Center attack, and now we're in the silent war. Okay, so this is all a part of her world dominion plot until the end. So that's more evidence of that. So anyway, okay, so I want to go into this a little bit more. So in the 70s, okay, as you guys know, I grew up in Globe, Arizona. I was there from 1st to 5th grade. I went to East Globe Elementary, 1st through 4th grade. And then in 5th grade, I went to Holy Angels, which was right next to Copper Elementary. And Copper Elementary was a brand new school that just got built. Anyway, so my little grade school stomping grounds were there. And I traversed the whole town. Anyway, I actually sent my website over to Globe Police, and they were happy. They communicated to me in mental telepathy. They were happy that I formally gave them my website, because all they keep hearing is Jean Jernigan Roberts impersonating me with her Manson occult and pretending to be me and trying to steal my childhood and stalking my family, and it's pissing them off. And she provides a bunch of like censored lies and crap and acts like she's some victim. Like she's just been totally stealing my identity, and it's been really, really pissing them off. So I gave them my website, so they're happy. They finally have my podcast, and they do know everything that is going on. They know that Jean Jernigan Roberts is leader of Charles Manson. They know that she has stalked me with her Manson occults all my life. She's messing with my... Did you hear my voice just now? How it went... She's pulling a stunt somewhere, aligned to someone. Anyway, so... they're happy that they have my podcast now, so they can keep up with everything that is going on. And it can also help them solve crimes in their area. So anyway, okay, so when I was in Globe, and I've already talked about this in my previous podcast, I've already decoded it, so this is just more. So when I was in Globe, when I lived there when I was little, I went to the movies one day with a friend of mine. I don't even remember which friend I was with. And we went to the movie theater, and The Watcher in the Woods was playing by Walt Disney. Okay. According to the internet, it says that it came out in 1980. That would have put me in 4th grade. but I can't remember what grade I was in, but I was pretty little. I swear to God, I think that movie came out earlier, unless it was an early preview and it hit Globe first. Because it seems to me that it came out like in 78 or 79. But anyway, so this whole thing freaked me out. This movie freaked me out. It scared the ever-living hell out of me. So anyway, when we were watching the movie, I can remember specifically going to get candy at the concession stand, and I got a package of Rolos. And then when we were watching the movie, there was somebody behind the movie screen, like the physical movie screen. There was somebody behind the movie screen, and they walked to the right and they peered around the right side of the movie screen. And I'm like, there's somebody back there. I was telling my friend, I'm like, there's somebody back there. And somebody is putting in my brain that we'd went back behind there after the movie was over. But I can't tell what's being injected in my brain is her fantasy lies that she's injecting in my brain, or if that's a real memory going back behind. It seems like we did go back behind there trying to figure out who was back there or what was back there. But it scared the crap out of me. I'm like, there's somebody behind the movie screen. So anyway, all my life this has stayed with me, The Watcher in the Woods, and all I keep thinking about is sitting here watching the movie and that person like peering from behind the movie screen at us. So anyway, I decoded all of this, okay? So there's a whole bunch of decode that goes to it. Again, it's proving that Gene Roberts and her Manson occult stalked me all my life. Again, it's proving that she did the World Trade Center attack. It's proving that she did the Oklahoma City bombing. So it's a whole bunch of ciphers that I decoded based on a memory from my childhood. So anyway, remember I told you in my previous recording, I always get Carol and Florence mixed up in my brain. Okay, so also note, this is in my previous, I don't think I put this in my previous recordings. I think I've just got it turned in, or I've still got it with me. Florence is also a city in Arizona. Okay, so, and then anything to do with water or flow, that's Charles Manson. Okay, so just like how she will ice rate people to turn water on and off, and how she's obsessed with showers. Just like the whole freaking psycho scene. Like, also, like, when she ice raped me when I was little on East and Cottonwood Street. The first house I lived in was on 11th Street or 12th Street. The second house I lived on was East and Cottonwood. So anyway, she ice raped me. She used ice on me when I was little to recreate a Charles Manson scene. And part of this was ice raping me and making it look like I did it. And then me trying to make it look like my little sister and brother did it. And obviously, they didn't do it. She did it through my body. I was a little girl. She assaulted me. But anyway, she does, so, oh my God, this makes me so freaking mad. Because if you call her out for doing this to you and you say she did this, then she steals your identity and pretends to be you. But if you say I did this, then she turns around and blames you and tells everybody you did it and you're just the Antichrist from hell and everything else. So it's a win-win to her. That's the secret of her ice. Gene is the perp. Gene did that by assaulting me as a child. Anyway, in this event, nail polish went all over, red nail polish went all over my mom and dad's newly remodeled bathroom. They just remodeled it all over the kitchen sink, not the kitchen sink, all over the bathroom sink, all over the toilet, all over the shower. It was like blood splatter everywhere. And I'm supposed to grow up and look back in time and decode all this and realize that Jean Roberts was ice raping me. And she was recreating her little death to pigs scene. And then I'm supposed to find out that I'm her sacrifice. And then she's going to call me a pig. And then she's going to kill me. And then get away with it all is what's supposed to be freaking happening here. But that's not going to happen. I've got Jean Roberts turned in. Jean Roberts will be electrocuted for committing terrorism, for trafficking, for stalking, for treason. So anyway, okay, so with the Florence thing, okay, so I went to go look up The Watcher in the Woods, the movie again, to see what the internet said. So get this. The Watcher in the Woods is a 1976 mystery novel. And you know 1976 equals 0. That Florence Ingle Randall wrote. Jean Roberts did that. You want to know what she did to my mom? Among all the things she's done to me and my family. If you go look at Clan of the Cave Bear, my mom's favorite book series, one of my mom's favorite book series, which I decoded the heck out of that too. I'm supposed to have that permeated in my brain. Anyway, go look at the author of Clan of the Cave Bear, which it's obviously a pen name, but it's horrible, her stalking me and my family like that, Jean Roberts. So anyway, okay, so there's Florence right there, and then you have Ingle, and then you have Little House on the Prairie, and Laura Ingalls and all that. And then Randall, and you have later Rantoul, and then Jean's little freaking friends. Anyway, so they'd be your friends, Jean. Anyway, so that was adapted into a film which began development in the late 1970s. The film, a supernatural thriller starring Bette Davis, was released by Walt Disney Productions in 1980, just outside the decade. Okay, so Bette Davis. Okay, so one of my favorite songs from when I was little, which reminds me of Globe, being little in Globe, and I look back and I know, like, looking forward, oh my God, that song is about me, but it's about Jean trying to steal me. She thinks she's Kim Carnes, I swear to God. When somebody said, they're in my brain, I was in Oklahoma City, and there are people are talking in my brain, and it was intelligence, and they're like, Jean Jernigan Roberts is running around telling everybody that she looks like freaking Kim Carnes, and they put a picture of Jean Jernigan Roberts up, and then they put Kim Carnes, because I looked up Kim Carnes on Google, and they started like dying freaking laughing. They're like, I don't think so, Jean. Anyway, so, but this is literally what she thinks she is. And so anyway, so Bette Davis. So note also, this is going to keep going and going and going. Okay, you know one of Jean Roberts' aliases is Betsy Ross XO. She's got a lot of Charles Manson aliases. That's one of them. Okay, notice the initials. Bette Davis is BD. So you have the BCD, the racket code. Okay, so that goes to on 11th or 12th Street when I was little. There's a couple different things going on here. So when I went to the movies, I lived on East and Cottonwood. But now I'm going back further, so it's linking me from house to house, Jean Roberts stalking. So when I lived on 11th or 12th Street, I was in first grade. I don't even think I was in first grade yet. Maybe I was, because I remember walking back and forth. I had to be in first grade. Anyway, so we had just moved from Tucson. That was the house we went to. So from kindergarten to first grade. So anyway, Remember I told you how she used ICE on me? ICE is using robotic technology, okay? Artificial intelligence. Okay, so she used ICE on me to walk into my swing in my backyard. My swing is shaped like a BCD. And then I'm Christina. And my childhood nickname is Nina, by the way. Everybody knows me from elementary school as Nina Marie Cook. I hated my nickname Nina. I got teased for it all the time. I love it now, but I don't let anybody call me that unless it's my family. Gene tries to call me Nina in my brain. And the cartel has told me every time you call Christina Nina, Gene Roberts, that's a freaking notch. So, anyway, and she's like making up nasty lies in the background right now, and then she's whispering thank you to people. Well, let her little Charles Manson occult ring get their freaking little lie-ass jollies. They're all going to be electrocuted because this is a public podcast. So, anyway, okay, so, all right. So, when I lived in that first house on 11th or 12th Street, also I want to point out the Rolos. Okay, so the Rolos connects later to Willis Junior High. And my little first boyfriend, Steve Severin, you know how much Jean likes Steve's. Okay, she iced the shit out of him. She iced everybody. Okay, Steve's best friend's name. Okay, Roland Guzman. Okay, and there's more evidence that Jean's been stalking cartel family lines. So anyway, so you got to see all previous podcasts and all this. It goes over everything in detail. So anyway, so the Rolos, so that not only connects obviously later to Willis Junior High, to Roland, but I'm not even focusing there. I want to point out a couple of different things here. So in grade school, when I was on 11th or 12th, remember when I got up on Sunday morning when my mom and Jeff were asleep and I decided I want to go for a ride on a motorcycle, and I like traversed across town in freaking first grade, hell bent that I was going to go ride on a motorcycle. And it was one of my mom's best friends in Globe. And people told me in my brain that that was Rick, my mom's friend Rick, who I was on the ranch with. My dad knows Rick, so he would know who that is. The guy that had the motorcycle, he would have to go find out if that's actually Rick or if that's another one of my mom's friends, or my mom would have to find out. But anyway, somebody told me that guy's name was Rick. They probably did that to go along with all this Charles Manson knick-knack ciphers that they did. Gene did stalking you because I want everything to match up with their little damn demon ciphers. So anyway, I went cruise across town. I was little, first grade. I was hell-bent I was going to go ride on a motorcycle. And anyway, I got back and there were police and fire everywhere. And my mom was freaking out. Okay, so you're going to have to see all podcasts and all of that, see all code on all that. So in this, Gene Jernigan Roberts used Lionel Richie, Easy Like Sunday Morning. She used a lot of references, okay? So each, because she's saying Easy Rider. There's a whole lot here. And then you can go with the initials Easy Rider, ER. Okay, and then you can go easy. You can apply that to the future Eazy-E. That'd be evidence there for NWA of her stalking of them. So, which I decoded tons and tons and tons of her stalking of them. So, all kinds of hip hop. She stalked me and she stalked them. And she'll tell you as everybody else, and she's just she's just the Navy Queen Princess of the United States of America, and she didn't do fucking shit, and it's everybody else's fault. And she's just the victim, and just let her continue to pretend to be me and rip off my life and rape all your kids and sell them and commit terrorism. Is what she really thinks she's going to get the fuck away with. No, she stole ICE, and she's been using it on everybody for 60 years. So anyway, so the motorcycle reference, there's a motorcycle reference here in the word Rolos. So you can see that. And then also people were pointing out the OVO string of terrorism, that the terror attacks that Gene Roberts is also committing. Okay, so she's using that also. And then somebody else pointed out the OYO, which is the company that she's using as a theme. They're using the Y as a snake tongue with the forked tongue, not the company. Gene Roberts is doing her Manson occult. So that also goes to my grade school years at this same house, when one day I went to the back patio and there was a coiled, right by the sliding glass door, a coiled, I swear to God, ready to strike the door, rattlesnake. And I know that snake was iced. So, anyway, Role is in that, ROLE, and then Lore is in that, and she's also making a reference to my Uncle Lorne. Okay, so also inside Role is Robert Kennedy Jr. She killed the first Robert Kennedy Jr. I decoded it so many times. Like, I know for a fact she killed him. I know for a fact. I've decoded it over and over and over and over again. So Robert Kennedy Jr. is in this. Reagan is in that. And then if you decode the letters out more, you can see Kennedy Airport, which is in Queens, New York, which is again a reference to also Run DMC. So it proves again she was stalking Run DMC as children also. So that's more evidence for them. And then Reagan Airport, DC is in DC. Reagan Airport is in DC. And then it also has obviously the future 9/11. Then also, if you add on ROLE, if you add on an X at the end of that, then you get Lexington, Kentucky. So she's making a mob reference is what she's doing, trying to hide her Manson occult underneath that, because, you know, Charles Manson is from Kentucky. That's where Barker Ranch is. Okay, so then future ahead to 1986, I live on Lexington Avenue, 1920 Lexington Avenue, North Chicago, Illinois. Then she's also got Lex Luthor in this. Okay. And then, you know, Lex Luthor is also in 2 Live Crew. But Lex Luthor from Superman. And who played Superman? Christopher Reeves. And you know, Gene is making Winnie the Pooh references here. Winnie the Pooh stands for white power. I know she lied to people, Gene Roberts. I know she lied to everybody. That's really what it stands for. I decoded the heck out of it. It stands for white power. She's even iced people. Okay, so anyway, she's got an Eeyore in this, and I decoded Eeyore a lot in the 70s ciphers I decoded. She wrote around my life. So there's Eeyore in this, and there's also Rolodex in it. So again, CL code Rolodex. And then also there's a reference to the Betty Davis song, the Betty Davis song. And then, you know, Dice, CL code on Dice, and CL code on Snake Eyes. So roll you like you were dice. So also in roll, if you put the first 2 letters of my last name, Stacia, then you have stroll. And then what did I do? I strolled across town to go get a bike ride, because I wanted to go ride a motorcycle. So what she's doing there, see all code on this. I decoded all these ciphers too. It's another reference to Saturday in the Park, Elton John. What she's saying is the song Saturday in the Park, and then the next line is, I think it was the 4th of July. So again, she's trying to blame the military. It wasn't the military. It was Jean Jernigan Roberts and her Manson occult. She's also making a reference to my birthday. I was born November 13th, 1971 on a Saturday. The day that I went to go ride on the motorcycle was a Sunday morning. So inside the word rattlesnake is roll you like you were dice. It's the R. If you put parentheses around R, L, S, and E, you can see roll you like you were dice in it. That sentence is hidden inside the word rattlesnake. Okay, so looking outside the parentheses, again, more references to Attica, Amityville Horror. She based my childhood on Amityville Horror. See all code. Attica is where George Lutz went to prison. Attica Prison in New York. Okay, she iced George Lutz. She terrorized the shit out of him with ice, with her freaking ice freaky whatever. And like, he knows, I know, he knows I decoded that out of it. And now she's like trying to do her little MK Ultra crap on me. And I'm like, no. Now I'll make sure the whole world knows what's going on. So, Jean, you will go to jail. So anyway, in that is realize. And then also in that is Charles Manson. And then you can see attention in that. So you can see she's doing her yes, sir, no, sir, with all the ranks and stuff. So, there's Vietnam references in here. So Tennyson is in that, which is United States Marine Corps. And then my teeth are in it, where she smashed in my teeth. But she's using, in Tennyson, she's using eye teeth, which would be your fangs teeth, but it was my incisors. So either way, she's using Marine Corps with the scissors in Tennyson. So she's trying really hard to blame the United States Marine Corps. She's trying to blame everyone. It was Jean Roberts and her Manson occult. Anyway, at the end of this, people were like going, oh my God, I'm sitting here, like, got it in my notes right now. I'm recording it. And people in my brain were going, oh my God. And then somebody cracked a joke and they said to Jean Roberts, in reference to Jean Roberts always trying to steal my identity and always trying to be me, like she's trying to literally do right now. Like I can feel her presence trying to like steal my voice and my body. It's weird. And she literally does that out in the public. She pretends to be me to people. I don't know what the hell for. You're busted 8 billion people, Jean. Anyway, so, they said, Jean, now what you gonna do? Like realizing how screwed Jean is. And then someone said, go call Jesse Ventura. And then someone said, no, Jesse Ventura don't like no Jean Jernigan Roberts. And I was like dying laughing. People were laughing. So they need to stick someone on Jean. So anyway, that's the end of this recording.